If you think 75 hard is the answer to lasting success, you're playing the wrong game. In this video, I'm going to explain to you why 75 hard doesn't actually work in order to create sustainable, long-term, lasting change in your health and your mental toughness. And if you clicked on this video, it's probably because you've been considering doing 75 hard, or you might know some people who have done it, or you've been watching people online who are talking about it, and you want to maybe quit drinking, or maybe you want to get in shape, or maybe you finally want to create that lasting discipline that you know you should have in your life. So here's the thing. I've studied a ton of the top health and fitness gurus out there, and I've realized that in order to create lasting results, not just for a couple of months, like 75 hard will do for you, but for a lifetime, there is a very different formula, a very simple formula, and it works every single time. I'm Richard, and I went from being overweight, out of shape, having zero discipline in my life, and not respecting the man in the mirror at all, to turning everything around a few years ago. And now I actually coach some of the highest performing men and entrepreneurs in the world, and teach them how to transform their bodies, their mindset, their energy, and their lives, and not just do it for a season, but do it for a lifetime. And so what I'm going to do is walk you through exactly why I believe this. And if you're struggling with 75 hard right now, or you're considering some type of drastic measures to change your life, you should seriously hear this out before you waste any more time.
Hi, Mom.
Look, so I've done 75 hard, and I respect 75 hard and the idea behind 75 hard. It's about building mental toughness, proving to yourself that you can do hard things, building momentum in your life. But here's the reality. Here's the part of it that nobody really talks about. 75 hard is performance-based identity. You're trying to win a challenge versus become the man who doesn't actually need a challenge anymore. So it's performance based identity instead of transformational identity. And once it's over, what happens is you default back to who you actually are. And the reason for this is because real transformation doesn't come from a checklist, it comes from shifting your identity. So that's the psychological problem. But let's talk about the physiology, okay, that's going on. The physiological problem with 75 hard is that, you know, when you do extreme challenges, your adrenaline spikes, your cortisol, your stress hormones, and you might feel supercharged on the outside, but inside, you're burning yourself out. So when life happens, like, an injury or family pressure or business problems or things that happen in life, the whole thing can fall apart and you quit. And thirdly, I want to talk about lifestyle, because 75 Hard was not designed for high performing entrepreneurs that are leading teams, businesses, projects, missions, purpose driven people. It was designed as a mental toughness boot camp. But success in life is not about surviving the sprint, it's about mastering the marathon. When I started 75 Hard, it was because a friend of mine reached out to me who later became a client, and he said, dude, I need accountability and I need somebody to do this with me so that I actually can, come off the alcohol, quit the booze, get my body in shape, get my fitness and my health sorted out, and I need accountability. So I did it with him. And what happened was, 10 days in, he quit. And the reason is because willpower is not scalable, but your habits are. And so if you're just relying on willpower for a sprint, for a quick, short season in order to, check off the list as many days as you can, you're not actually changing your habits. You're just amplifying your willpower for a season to try to get through it. So if extreme challenges don't work long term, then what does? Well, it comes down to three pillars that I teach every single one of my clients. Pillar number one is building a foundation. You need daily automatic habits that rewire your brain. Like you need small wins that rewire you and shift your identity, and stuff that you're going to have locked in that may be hard to do at first. These adjustments might be hard to do at first, but after a while they become effortless. So some examples would be hydration and nutrition to fuel you every day, that you don't even have to think about. It just goes on autopilot. Another one would be daily mental focus habits, and small, I call them tools that you can have in your tool belt that you can use, and combinations that you can use every day to keep your mental state high, to stay in a peak mental state, right? Another one would be a routine. Like if you have a morning routine that energizes you and gets you excited, gets you fired up for the day, gets you full of the right kind of energy, real energy every morning, this is the kind of foundation that you can build on. The second one is sustainability. Okay. It's not about surviving a sprint, it's about, growing at 10%. If you think about growing 1% at a time, or every year you're growing 10% growth, right? You never stop growing. You never stop getting better. And that's one of my favorite quotes is, if you can get 1% better every day, at the end of the year, you're three times the individual that you were in all these different areas, right? Because life is going to hit you. And it's not about being perfect. It's not about saying like, oh, I have the perfect set of habits and I never screw up. But it's about having the habits that keep you locked in and are sustainable for the long term, so that after 6 months, a year, and then eventually 6 years, 10 years and beyond, you have a sustainable, long-term healthy lifestyle that you love. And that's pillar number three, guys, is accountability and adjustments. The guys I coach are obsessed with standards. They're not obsessed with streaks. So the idea is that if you can create accountability, if you can come into an environment where you have daily accountability and you make the adjustments that are necessary. One of my favorite quotes is that people make changes, but champions make adjustments. Think about the adjustments that you need to make to go from knowing to doing, right? That gap between knowing and doing, biggest gap in the world. It's usually small adjustments, and having the accountability, having somebody that's there with you to say, hey, every week checking in on you, dude, how are you doing? Like, how are you performing this week? And if you haven't been perfect that week, that's okay, but making the adjustment for the next 7 days for a period of time to have that accountability until those habits kick in, and that accountability and adjustment creates that pillar that cements you into the lifestyle that you're looking to build. So again, my own story is I used to chase extreme challenges or extreme diets, or thinking that I had to, go to extreme measures. I would follow these guys on social media that would do these men's physique shows or bodybuilding shows, or, I would look at these fitness guys that were, on a whole different plane, like just a different, they're like on a different planet when it comes to the extreme measures that they were doing, and the coaching they had, and all the things they were taking on in order to achieve this stage look, right? And what happened is I actually shifted away from thinking about what I needed to do to who do I need to become. And this is a huge shift. It's the be, do, and have principle. You have to be the person, you have to become the person before you're going to do the things you need to do, and then have the things you need to have. And I'm going to do a whole video on that at some point. But if you focus on, when I started to focus on becoming the person that I needed to be in order to have the physique and the health and the energy, and be able to become the leader I wanted to be, and be able to become the entrepreneur that I wanted to be, and the partner, and the brother, the uncle, the friend that I wanted to be, I had to focus on the be part, not the do part, because so many guys are focusing on, well, I'm going to go keto, or I'm going to go carnivore, or I'm going to go vegan, or I'm going to fast for 20 hours a day. Or, I hear all these things. I used to be that guy. And it's really not about what you do, it's about who you become. I have several clients that have come into the program that have struggled to finish 75 hard, or they tried to finish 75 hard. And what's crazy is after they go through the program and they actually apply my formula, now it's like they're not trying to use their willpower or trying to force the no alcohol, or getting the right food into them so that they're, building the body that they want and having the energy they want. They're actually doing it because they want to. And on top of that, their businesses become better. They grow their businesses, their family life becomes better, their relationships become better. All these things, elevate and become better because when you bring things into alignment, right? Instead of trying to sprint and then go, oh man, I'm gonna check that off and tell all my friends I finished 75 hard, and then 6 months later or 6 days later, you got your mug of beer in the pub and you're like, or you're on your beachfront balcony with your white wine, and you're posting boomerang videos of celebrating a party or a birthday or whatever. Like you just go right back to where you were. Instead of that, right? These guys are actually coming in and becoming somebody different in the process by changing their habits, having the accountability, building the foundation, making the adjustments, and then developing that long-term lifestyle where they don't even want that stuff anymore, and that desire and those cravings for it completely go away. So if you're serious about not just finishing a challenge, but building a life that you are truly proud of, stop chasing harder and harder battles and start mastering the game that really matters, which is sustainable transformation. You're not here to win the next 75 days. You're here to dominate the next 75 years. So if any of this hits home for you, make sure you like and subscribe, because I'm going to be making more videos like this and more content like this to give you guys my insights into stuff that you may, be in the middle of right now, or you might be thinking about, or stuff that resonates with you on a deeper level, because you're just like me, right? You're a high performer, you're an achiever, you're somebody that's going, hey, I want to become the best version of myself. And you already have all the information. You don't need any more information. You need implementation, and you need the gap in the middle between knowing and doing to be filled with wisdom and knowledge and insights. And hopefully that's what I can bring for you on this channel every single week and every single month. And if you're ready right now to say, dude, you know what? I'm ready to start making lasting change and lasting results in my life. And I'm actually ready to start building a lifestyle that's sustainable, that I enjoy, and not doing it alone, not doing a done for you or a do it alone, but a do it with you. If that's what you're looking for, we have a whole community of guys from all over the world. We're talking every day, and every week inside of our community, inside of our group. We're meeting up for our first live event coming up in December, right down here in beautiful Panama. And if you're that type of person that's like, dude, you know what? I just want to start a conversation with you and see if what we do is a fit for you, and see if where you're at right now and where you want to go is a path that we can help you with. Just go ahead and actually click below and book a call with me, because you can book a free strategy call with me, a game plan call, and I'll jump on with you and we'll have a conversation and see if I can help. All right. So again, make sure you like and subscribe, watch this video next, and I'll see you guys on the next one.